Now we're heading into the garden. Dabney is back in this week. Good to have you back in, Dabney.
Nice to be here, Jeff. I tell you, you're saying today 92, yesterday 94, 2 degrees.
Yeah.
That's still hot.
Yeah, it's still
and
hot.
Poor Don, he doesn't have anything up here to keep him
Hey. It's called a hat.
And the message is, if you're going out in the garden or anywhere else, be sure to put a hat on, Don, and the rest of us wear nice light clothes, because it is hot out there.
Definitely, yeah. You can't be fooling around with it. Now, what do you got here?
Well, of course, the theme today is fresh, everything fresh. And these are some things that I brought out of my garden. Of course, this is a good time of year to be friends with your neighbor if they have a garden, or if you have the garden, to share with your neighbor. And those of us that don't have either, then of course we have the fresh markets all around town. The advantage is whenever when you buy it local, the flavor is so much better than what you, because unfortunately in the grocery stores, they've had to handle it for 2 or 3 days. And of course, if you notice, the tomatoes I brought aren't real ripe, but my problem is, as hot as it is, if I don't get them off the vine pretty early, then the squirrels are going after them.
Yeah.
And you can spray with hot pepper wax or some of these other things to deter them to a degree, but when it's this hot, they just like the animals in the zoo, they like to be cooled off, and nothing better than a nice tomato, even though it's not real cool, it's got a lot of moisture in it.
Exactly, yeah. And another thing, too, for if you're going to the local markets or if you're picking your own, one thing is looks can be deceiving. If you pick that tomato or that cucumber, it may look kind of weird, but it actually, if it's ripe and ready to go, it's usually very tasty.
Absolutely. And the other thing, is, by smell, you can take a tomato and put it up, and it does have an odor to it. Freshness to it. Same thing with cantaloupes. And of course, watermelon, you just kind of tap it and see if it's right.
Yeah, I learned that a couple of years ago. Yeah, my mom taught me that one. But for some questions today, Michael Stevens asking us, how do you get rid of nutsedge? And what exactly is that?
Well, nutsedge is not. A lot of us we call it nutgrass, but it's actually not a grass. It's a sedge, and it's bad this time of year because of the rains we had. When you have so much water at one time, that tends to make it a little bit worse. And there are selective products. Some of them are called nutgrass killers, some of them are called annihilator. But if you stop by your favorite garden center, they'll have a product that you can use, and it will just kill the nutgrass without hurting your grass or the ornamentals.
Okay, great. And what do you do to control bagworms, Debbie?
Well, you can spray. The problem is if they're already in the bag, they've already started doing damage. And, there are a number of sprays that will work on bagworms, including natural products. The natural products, dipel, thuricide, and the chemicals, you can use 7. There's some called bagworm killer. So those will work quite well. Before we leave on the nutgrass, I do want to mention, too, on the sedge, if you have areas where it's bad, that tells you there's a good possibility the soil's staying wetter. So lime this fall, that will help keep it from coming back quite as quickly next year.
All right, good tips. Thanks, Dabney. Appreciate it. And we'll have some more news and another check of weather coming up right after this break.